so excited to be joining you all for this virtual Life Night series in which we're talking about the dignity of the human person. And as Carl mentioned last week, we're going to be talking about the whole human person, body, mind, and soul. And today, from the comfort of my very own apartment, we're going to be discussing the gift of the body and how we're called to take care of this gift that we've been entrusted with. So as Carl told you, and as many of you probably already know, I'm a neuroscientist and I spend my time learning about the brain, which is a pretty awesome way to spend your time, and not just because I get to do science experiments all day, although that is a pretty big perk of my job. Being a scientist gives me a unique perspective on how amazing our bodies actually are. So just indulge me here for a second in a little science experiment. Think about your ability to locate where a sound is coming from. Usually it's pretty easy to tell if the person who shouted your name is standing in front of you or behind you. If that really annoying singing is coming from your brother's room or from your sister's room. But if I asked you to explain to me how you know where it's coming from, it's not such an easy explanation. You just know. But in order to tell where a sound is coming from, your brain does some pretty amazing calculations. Without you even knowing it, your brain measures the millisecond difference between a sound reaching your right ear and reaching your left ear, and uses that difference to decide the location of a sound, all in less than a second. And localizing a sound in the big scheme of things is a pretty simple task. Your brain does many more things than we can even comprehend. It regulates your heart rate and digestion, it dilates your pupils so just the right amount of light gets through, and it monitors the levels of salt in your blood and makes you feel thirsty when they're not quite right, just to name a few. And let me let you in on a little secret. We only know a small fraction of what the human body can do. There are so many unanswered questions, and we've been studying it for centuries. So being a scientist has made me even more sure that human beings, body, mind, and soul, were created by an all-knowing God. There is no way that something so complicated could just happen by accident. So with that, I hope I've convinced you at least somewhat about how amazing the human body is. And each and every one of us were gifted with a human body. But how does this information impact our everyday life? Well, when you're in possession of something that's important, you take care of it. We put screen protectors on our iPhones, we buy insurance for our car, we lock our front doors, and we keep our money in a bank. But living in a culture that often fails to recognize the dignity of the human person can make us forget that we're called to care for our bodies as the valuable gifts that they are. And we can use our bodies to worship God. We can make the sign of the cross, we can genuflect in reverence, and we can bow our heads to show our respect for the Lord. But our bodies are more than just tools to be used in worship. Let's grab our Bibles really quick and open to 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 19 through 20. In these verses, St. Paul writes, "Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, which you have from God? You are not your own. You were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body." In the Jewish tradition, the temple was a place where the presence of God resided. So when St. Paul says that our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, he means that our bodies are dwelling places of God himself. God the Father created our bodies, God the Son redeemed them, and God the Holy Spirit dwells within them. So I want you to take just a couple minutes and discuss the following question. What makes it difficult to see your body as a gift from God and a temple of the Holy Spirit? Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you guys had a good discussion. And now we're going to talk about some of the practical ways that we can care for our bodies as the gifts that they are. I'm sure it's going to surprise none of you when I tell you that the three main ways we can take care of our bodies are by eating healthy, exercising, and getting enough sleep. On the most basic level, we've all learned this since we were in kindergarten. Sleeping gives our bodies the rest we need to recover. Exercising makes sure our body stays fit and strong. And eating healthy ensures that we provide our bodies with important nutrients that we need to function. And all of these things are important because they are the proper way to care for the valuable gifts that is our bodies. But it goes even deeper than that. In this series, we're talking about the human person as a whole. Body, mind, and soul. And none of these parts are completely separate from the others. Eating a balanced diet has been shown to improve attention and memory and allows us to better perform our duties as students and athletes. Exercising has been proven to improve mood and can even help relieve symptoms of anxiety and depression. And a better mood can help you avoid sins like impatience and unjust anger. And getting enough sleep has numerous benefits. Research has shown that we are much better at recognizing the emotions of other people when we are well rested. So we are much better at being empathetic and compassionate towards others when we get enough sleep. So taking care of your bodies not only respects your body, but also has benefits for your mind and soul. And I understand that taking proper care of yourself isn't always easy. But the virtue of temperance, which is knowing and choosing to avoid excess, can help us as we strive to be healthier. Temperance helps us choose the healthier meal even when fast food is the easiest thing to eat. It helps you get up and go to the gym even when it's the last thing we feel like doing. So the next time you're struggling to make the healthy choice, ask the Holy Spirit to help you practice the virtue of temperance. But making healthy decisions isn't just hard because sometimes they take more effort. We live in a culture that values productivity so much, it doesn't leave any room for rest. We live in a culture where our resumes require more activities than we could ever possibly do, and where we wear our lack of sleep around like a badge that proves we are good students. We live in a culture that glorifies busyness, where the most common answer to the question, "How are you doing?" is busy, as if we could never pass up the chance to remind people that we are getting things done. And our dedication to work, school, faith, relationships isn't a bad thing, but overcommitment at the cost of rest isn't healthy. Getting an adequate amount of sleep is one of the most important things we can do for our bodies, but it also helps us maintain a healthy mind and soul. When we are well rested, we are less prone to sluggishness, anger, and impatience, and our bodies and minds are more ready to enter into a state of prayer. If you read the creation story in Genesis, you'll see that even the Lord rested on the seventh day. He even commands us to do the same in the third commandment, which is keep holy the Sabbath. So with that, I want you guys to take a couple of minutes and discuss these two questions. Number one, the idea of taking time to rest can seem counterproductive. Why is it important to rest adequately? And number two, what are some ways that you can follow the commandment, keep holy the Sabbath? Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope that your discussions were productive and fruitful. And what I want to talk about in this last part of the video is the ways that the ideas of our culture can take our goals of treating our body in a healthy way and turn it into something that is detrimental and unhealthy. We have to avoid the temptation of idolizing our bodies. which happens when we are no longer eating healthy and exercising for the purpose of caring for our bodies, but instead for the sole purpose of elevating our status or feeding our pride about the way that we look. But we also have to avoid the trap of seeing our bodies as something bad that we need to fix. The media likes to convince us that our beauty is defined by the size of our clothes or by the color of our hair. If only we could change the way we look, then we will be beautiful. But each and every one of us is beautiful just the way we were designed. Living a healthy lifestyle isn't the ticket to being beautiful. Every person is beautiful because every person, mind, body, and soul, were made in the image and likeness of God. Living a healthy lifestyle is instead an expression of gratitude to God for the gift of our bodies. And so with that, I would like you to take a couple more minutes to discuss the following two questions. Number one, why is it important that our health goals come from loving and appreciating our body rather than shaming or being dissatisfied with it? And number two, what are some practical ways that you can start living a healthier life? Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this second part in our 4-part series on the dignity of the human person. I hope you'll join us next week for part 3. I've really enjoyed talking with you all this week, and I really hope to be seeing all of you in person very soon. Have a great week, and I'll see you later. When I doubt it, Lord, remind me I'm wonderfully made.